about 2023 elections. INEC raises alarm over attacks on its officers and personnel. Cross-section of Nigerians challenge presidential aspirants to profile lasting solution to incessant ASU strikes. And from the foreign scene, explosion kills 4 people at Afghanistan school, injuring many. Good evening and welcome. Thank you for joining us on the news at 7. I am Obi Chukwemeka Oti. Ondo State Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu has approved the constitution of a 10-man committee for the establishment of the State School of Health Technology Honors in Apr land. In a statement by Secretary to the State Government, Mrs. Oladuniodu, the committee is saddled with, among other responsibilities, to liaise with stakeholders involved in the establishment of the institution's annex in Eseodo local government area. The 10-man committee has Mrs. Oladuniodu, Secretary to Ondo State Government, as chairman. Other members on health, Professor Francis Faduile, Special Advisor on Education, Dr. Olawumi Ilawole, Chairman Eseodo Local Government, Mrs. Folawe Shikpachi Aluko, among others. To politics now. Ondo State Governor and Chairman Southwest Governors Forum Oluwarotimi Akeredolu will later this evening meet with colleague governors from the region. The meeting is billed to discuss issues relating to the 2023 general elections. Governor Akeredolu had in a chat with Osrc hinted that the governors in the region will meet minds to ensure the Southwest does not lose out in the political calculation of the Southern region producing the next president of Nigeria. Akeredolu noted that activities building up to the general elections are in top gear and leaders of the Southwest are not leaving anything to chance. Meanwhile, the people of Bolonduro in Ondo East local government area of Ondo State rolled out the drums to celebrate as Mr. Olumbe Akinkugbe declared his intention to represent Ondo East and West Federal Constituency at the National Assembly. His dividends of democracy. Omoriola Ogbenji has details.
As early as 11 o'clock in the morning, residents of Bolonduro gathered, waiting patiently to receive Mr. Olumbe Akinkugbe to formally indicate his intention to represent them. He arrives into the waiting hands of the people and was received by stalwarts of the All Progressives Congress (APC) in the area, traditional rulers as well as women and youth groups. Mounting the podium in declaration of his intention, Olumbe Akinkugbe said being part of Governor Oluwarotimi's government in the past 5 years has given him great experience to serve his people. Mr. Akinkugbe, who lamented, promised to use his influence to restore the electricity.
There's nobody that can work in Nigeria today without any basic ICT skills. We are going to increase the number of ICT centers. I am going to sponsor legislative bills that will make sure that ICT becomes a compulsory part of our school curriculum as far as education is concerned.
He called on the people to support his vision for the growth of the area.
Based on all the consultations that we had, people that we've spoken to, people that we've engaged, leaders, especially within our party, are desirous of a change, desirous of a new style of politics. You see, the same politics of giving out freebies that are not sustainable. There's nothing wrong with giving things out, but you give things that are sustainable.
Meanwhile, Olumbe Akinkugbe, who hailed from Ward 9 in Ondo West local government area, was first appointed Senior Special Assistant to Governor Akeredolu on Information Communication Technology (ICT) and later became the chairman Ondo State Information Technology Agency (SITA).
He's part of the government of Ondo State, and for the few times I've met him, he has always been very humble, and with a lot of integrity at stake. For what I've seen today, the guy is on ground, and the sky is the beginning of his aspiration.
He resigned to contest the House of Representatives seat of his federal constituency. Omoriola Ogbenji, Osrc News.
In the meantime, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has met with President Muhammadu Buhari in Osrc, Abuja. The meeting came 10 days after Osinbajo officially declared his intention to contest the 2023 presidential election. Details of the meeting are sketchy as of the time of filing this report. Still on politics, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says it has lost about 10,000 smart card readers in over 42 attacks on its officers and staff in 3 years. The Commission also said over 1,000 persons, including its employees and security officers, were killed in the 3 elections held in 2011, 2015 and 2019. Ballot papers, cubicles and other materials were similarly destroyed. Last Friday, an INEC worker identified as Anthony Nwokore was shot dead by gunmen while conducting the continuous voter registration in Ihite Oboma local government area of Imo State. In a related development, an official of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Mr. Mike Igine, has taken a swipe at politicians sponsoring thuggery in Nigeria. Igine, who is the resident electoral commissioner REC in charge of Akwa Ibom State, during an interview said he believes such sponsors of thuggery pose a serious threat to the nation's democracy. While calling on politicians to stop the engagement of thugs during political campaigns, Igine said such practice is one of the major security threats to electoral officials and the electorates during elections. The INEC senior official called on Nigerian leaders and the political elites to address the challenge as the country prepares for the 2023 general polls. Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike says the presidential pardon for persons prosecuted on corruption charges by the federal government only suggests that there is no need to have anti-corruption agencies in the country. He believes the Economic and Financial Crime Commission's EFCC and the Independent Corrupt Practices Commission's ICPC have been made to suffer an embarrassment as the pardon has made them irrelevant. The governor stated this on Monday at an event in Kano. He was reacting to the pardon granted to former governors Jole Yame of Taraba State and Joshua Dariye of Plateau State by the Council of State last week. Governor Wike also dismissed the defense put up by the president's spokesman on why the pardon should not be faulted. In another development, it was a free-for-all in Owerri, the Imo State capital, on Tuesday as chieftains of the Social Democratic Party in the state exchanged blows. The crisis led to the suspension of the State Congress, which was billed to take place at the party secretariat situated on Wetherell Road in Owerri. It was gathered that trouble started after some local government area chairmen stood against the commencement of the Congress. They insisted that officials of the Independent National Electoral Commission who were invited to witness the Congress should go. Insisting the Imo State chapter of the SDP was not for sale, the aggrieved politicians said that the internal differences must be resolved before a state Congress would hold. The exchange of words later snowballed into a fight. To Kano State, where Governor Abdullahi Ganduje has approved the resignation of 7 commissioners in his cabinet. The governor had on Saturday night issued an ultimatum to political appointees with intention to contest in the 2023 general elections to submit their resignation on or before yesterday. There are, however, insinuations that the governor rejected the resignation of his Chief of Staff, Ali Makoda, Commissioner for Education, Mohammed Kiru, Commissioner for Health, Ibrahim Sanwawa, and Commissioner for Budget and Planning, Nora Mohammed Dankade. Also recently, the resignation of the Managing Director, Kano Road Traffic Agency, Bafa Baba. Also watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook OSRC TV Ondo, and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel OSRC TV Ondo. Some Nigerians have emphasized the need for politicians aspiring to become the country's president to reel out practical means to solve the protracted strike occurring in the nation's public universities. The nation's tertiary education is currently inactive due to the ongoing strike by Academic Staff Union of Nigerian Universities. According to data, the Academic Staff Union of Universities has spent 1 in every 4 days on strike in the last 6 years. Saeed Aribisala has more.
Every other thing in Nigeria appears to be on the move, except for activities at the nation's public universities. This is one of the affected universities with a population of over 20,000 students. All of the bustling activities associated with this environment is non-existent. A situation further grounded by the emptiness of this dust-ridden 1,000 capacity lecture hall. It's over 2 months since the Academic Staff Union of Nigerian Universities down-tooled over failure of government to meet a 2009 agreement and 2013 Memorandum of Understanding.
I'm learning how to make bags, and I'm also learning hairdressing and how to make wigs. I've started before I even entered school, so when we came for strike, I went back to learn.
There was an ASU strike I experienced, which was about 6 months, and during the course of that 6 months, it's as though the whole life just paused. You know, you are frustrated, you don't know what's next. You don't even know when these people are going to be called back, when we are going to be called back as at then, and even as at now.
It has great effect on students, on parents, on the economy, and even project the prestige of Nigeria to the outside world in a bad way.
The Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SANU, and Non-Academic Staff Union of Allied and Educational Institutions, NASU, also joined in crippling both academic and administrative activities in Nigeria public universities. According to available data, ASU has spent 1 in every 4 days on strike in the past 6 years. Femi Oyerinde is currently a 500-level student in one of Nigeria's technology-based universities and has witnessed closure of school due to strike virtually every year of his studies.
Unfortunately, the strikers already delayed everyone. But then, I'll just say it's still fine. Whatever they want to do, they should do. I personally believe that students are using this opportunity right now to do 1 or 2 things that they couldn't do or they can't do while still in session rather.
The ripple effect of the strike is also taking a toll on prospective undergraduates who dread entering the tertiary education system for its recurring closure.
We jump by it. Majority of us calculated it that, okay, we are going for a particular course, maybe CCS course. So when we later gain admission and we fall into this ASU strike circumstances, it can add to our years.
But as activities build up for the 2023 general elections, concerned Nigerians want aspiring presidential hopefuls to make practical pronouncement on how to put an end to the deadlock.
Any credible candidate should make it part of its policies or roadmap or whatever design for his campaign or her campaign, ASU issues, the educational sector in particular, including the education, the health sector, and many other sectors, and security.
They have been on this problem for quite a long time. Government will promise them heaven and earth today, but for government to implement it is a problem.
As the federal government has appealed to the striking union to resume work and the continuous call from ASU for government to fulfill its promises, the question remains, who will shift ground and when? Saeed Aribisala, OSRC News.
The Lagos State Police Command has invited all parties involved in the alleged sexual abuse of a 10-year-old primary 6 pupil of Christian schools located in Victoria Garden City area. The command spokesperson Benjamin Hundeyi said the concerned parties have been directed to report to the State Criminal Investigation Department SCID at Banti to give written statements while further questioning will follow. According to Hyundai, the school's head teacher and the parents of the female pupil who alleged that their daughter was sexually abused during the school's participation in the World School Games at Dubai, United Arab Emirates, have questions to answer. The school authorities claimed a female pupil who was among the 76 representatives of the Dubai event was suspended for immoral act, but the mother claimed her daughter was drugged and raped by some male students of the school. Still on the security agent, Inspector General of Police IGP Usman Alkali Baba has confirmed the appointment of CSP Olumuyiwa Adejobi as the 25th Indigenous Force Public Relations Officer. Administrative Officer, Force Public Relations Department, SP Anjugori Manza, made the development known in a statement which confirmed the appointment of Olumuyiwa Adejobi as the Force Public Relations Officer. The IGP had in February appointed Adejobi Force PRO in acting capacity. He took over from CP Frankenba, who was nominated for the Senior Executive course at the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, Kuru, Jos. And the Osrc Police Command has arrested 2 suspected kidnappers in Ile-Ife after a gun duel. The command spokesperson, Superintendent of Police Yemisi Opalola, made this known in a statement, saying the suspects were arrested after kidnapping a man at a Fulani settlement in Ile-Ife. She further said the police have started investigation to get to the root of the matter. In the spirit of the festive season, a philanthropist, Mrs. Olanike Olawoye, has distributed palliative items to the less privileged in society. Distributing the items in Ondo, Mrs. Olawoye said the gesture is her widow's mite to put smiles on the faces of the people. The report is presented from our studio.
True giving and happiness are deeply connected and come from within. This played out when a philanthropist, Mrs. Olanike Olawoye, put smiles on the faces of orphans, widows, widowers, street beggars, and physically challenged in Ondo town and its environs. Items distributed include mattresses, cooking gas cylinders, foodstuffs, and cash. Mrs. Olawoye, popularly known as Mama Ashiere, said she gave out from what God has given her for the beneficiaries to give sense of belonging in this festive period.
This empowerment for less privileged people, to enable them to live comfortable in the society. Mrs.
Olawoye explained that she would continue to assist the poor as a part of society. Beneficiaries thanked Mrs. Olawoye for coming to the raid at this time.
I was very, very grateful for what was done for me, because I never see kind of person like this. I appreciate my mom because the turn done my life. So I like what our mom done. So God bless her. More blessing for her.
Great work. It shows that she has the love of people, at heart.
I appreciate Mama that she has given many things to people, challenges people, many things, because they don't lack everything, from starting mattress, everything. I really appreciate God for Mama Asherere's life today. I appreciate Mama Asherere for what she has done today.
A gift, no matter how small or big, is something that is enjoyed by the giver and receivers.
Nigerians in diaspora and well-to-do within the country have been charged to join hands in enhancing development in the country. This was emphasized at the commissioning of Prama Vegetable Oil Company in Akure, the Ondo State capital. Joy Pius reports that the move is to ease the challenge of affordable vegetable oil to consumers.
The idea of residents of Ondo State traveling far distance in search of quality vegetable oil is being addressed with the establishment of Pramo's Vegetable Oil in Akure. The Chief Executive Officer of the company, Tony Aburumaku, said the aim of situating the company in Akure is to ease the stress faced by the populace when purchasing the product and also create job opportunities for youths.
Look at the people traveled the way from Ondo State down to Lagos, down to Owerri, to Onitsha to get the vegetable oil. Something they can easily get from Akure. Why are you guys traveling all the way? And the road is very bad. So that is why I decided, okay, let me bring something to Ondo State. So people can come over, the neighbor state, they can come over to get the supply.
The Catholic Bishop of Ondo Diocese, Right Reverend Jude Arugundade, and other attendees who gave their goodwill messages urged residents of Akure, particularly staff of the company, to key into the vision to ensure its success.
This company is starting with you. If you have to build it up and make it good, you will benefit from it and it will help you to grow. Because there's no way you can start this kind of business without putting people there, without putting Nigerians there, without putting your brothers and sisters there. It is your duty to build it up and make it big, and you will grow with the company.
He has the love for the country, the love for the people, and the love for the own employer as a whole. So it can make that encouragement.
I'm going to order vegetable oils. Don't be a Even the money complete, you don't producer here. You produce a photo. But the now, very close to where they are from Ekiti, from Kogi, from Akure, on the side of TV, and it has come to stay.
The bishop thereafter commissioned the company for the
I call the Reverend to declare this company open in the name of the Father, Amen, and of the Son, Amen, and of the Holy Spirit.
The company is said to be the first vegetable oil company established in Akure to distribute vegetable oil to the populace in large quantity. Joy Pius, OSRC News.
Moving on now to the foreign scene, South Africa has declared a national disaster after a storm killed hundreds of people. President Cyril Ramaphosa says money should be spent showing up defenses against the effects of climate change. After heavy rain fell in the province of KwaZulu-Natal last week, 24 hours later comes the disaster. The report is presented by Zaid Aribisala.
Rains have stopped, but the crisis is still unfolding. The National Defense Forces says 10,000 troops will head to KwaZulu province. They say some people are still missing. The rescue team is looking for one of them.
We're out here helping, looking for our neighbor. We're sure she was swept by the river because we found her son's body nearby, but she is still missing.
Families are left with sorrow while people struggle after one another.
The situation is bad. Her son is already at the morgue, but since we haven't found his mother yet, we don't know where to lay his remains.
The flood has left thousands of people homeless. They also don't have power and water services. The president says climate change fueled the disaster and new measures are needed to prepare for extreme weather.
We need to increase our investment in climate adaptation measures to better safeguard communities against the effects of climate change.
The government has declared a state of disaster with nearly $7 million allocated for relief efforts. With community aid part, response team says they will need more time and money to fully recover. Hundreds of thousands of children are due back in school after the Easter over the weekend. Sahid Aribisala, OSRC News.
A suspected twin suicide bombing outside a boys' school in the Afghan capital Kabul has killed at least 4 people and wounded many others. The blast happened at the Abdul Rahim Saeed High School in the Shia-dominated west of the city. The number of dead and wounded is likely to rise. A nearby tuition center was also targeted in a grenade attack. there is still no immediate claim of responsibility. Islamic State militants have, however, attacked the area in the past. It was gathered that students were learning during morning classes when the blast happened. To sports now. Ondo State Deputy Governor and Chairman Management Committee of the State Football Agency, Lucky Ayedatiwa, has